This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can, oh, that's loud, working in the stadium. I hope everybody can hear me. Thank you for attending the meeting. We're going to give everybody just a couple more minutes to get logged on. Just a reminder, if you're going to be counted as part of the quorum, you do need to have your camera on. Thank you. If you're just called in on the phone, can you please identify yourself for our meeting minutes?
Hi, this is Heather Cook with the Fort Hood DPW.
Thank you. Are we still muted, James? We're unmuted. Okay, but we still on before. Good morning, everybody. We're still waiting on a quorum, so we won't be able to take any action, but I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order so we can go through everything and provide as much information as we can. That way, if we do get a quorum, we can take action on some of these items. So I've called the meeting to order. I'll now open the floor for any public comment. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to comment? We received none via email. Staff update, as you'll see on the screen and in your packet, if you have one printed out or on your screen, we've listed the upcoming KTMPO meetings. September 22nd, 2021 is the policy board meeting that was actually pushed back 1 week due to the public involvement materials that we'll be discussing later in the packet. I believe October 6th is actually a different meeting as well. October will not be the 6th, it will be the 13th due to other national and state meetings that are being held during that first week of October. The 20th will be the policy board meeting. The 26th will be the BPAC. And then not November 3rd, but November 10th will be the November meeting. So a couple discrepancies with that in the calendar that you'll see later. All those meetings are scheduled for 9:30 here at the SICCOG building. If the need to be virtual like we are today arises, we'll let everybody know. KTMPO staff, we held a new member orientation in lieu of the meetings for August. It was attended pretty well. If you'd like to see a recording for that presentation, you can see that on our website. We have some potential TIP and MTP amendments. These have been brought forward the past couple months just to keep on everybody's mind. The potential formal amendments would be the Temple Outer Loop West Phase 1 project and the South First Street Spur 290 improvements. Those are in case, those amendments will be needed in case Temple is awarded community project funding as it goes through the appropriations. Okay, and it looks like we do have a quorum now. Mr. Scantling, can you turn your camera on for quorum purposes? The federal and state updates, we'll be discussing the STIP schedule that's included in the packet. It's actually on the next page. All the STIP deadlines are on that page. The National Highway System modifications, that information's in your packet as well. I believe we had 2 roadways that came off of that classification system for not meeting the designation requirements. The Senate Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the Senate recently passed that bill, but it hasn't gone through the entire process yet. The census update, currently only redistricting information is available for the census. We are keeping an eye on that because there may be some revisions needed to our membership due to bylaw requirements or revisions to the bylaws once the new census numbers are available to us. We'll be walking through that process. In addition to those federal updates that are in there, KTMPO has been not awarded, but allocated $2.1 million for additional Cat 7 funding through the Coronavirus Relief Funds Act. We'll be working with TxDOT and discussing how to best implement those. We believe the best method at this point, we're not taking any action on that today, would be to implement those just like we do our regular Cat 7 funding. And that will open up some additional funding that we already have programmed to for additional projects. And air quality, I can't really see that. The readings for the month of August were 57 and 54. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll move to agenda item 4. That is an action item. Pages 26 through 28 in your packet. And this is regarding the approval of the minutes from the July 7th, 2021 meeting, because we did not have a meeting in August to approve the minutes. Are there any questions on the minutes? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Hey, Ryan, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 7th, 2021 meeting.
I do have a motion.
I'll second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. Agenda 5 is regarding approval of the TAC meeting schedule for FY 2022. That's page 30 and 31. As I mentioned in the staff update, some of these dates have changed from what was originally in the packet due to state meetings that are being held when TAC would normally meet. But those meetings are typically the first Wednesday of the month. If you have any concerns or see any scheduling errors or know of any national or state conferences we need to take into account for this schedule that we haven't, please let us know. Other than that, I will entertain a motion regarding the approval of the TAC meeting schedule for fiscal year 2022.
This already has those changes on it, on what's on here.
The schedule that's in here has those changes incorporated.
Then I'll make a motion to approve the TAC meeting schedule for fiscal year 2022.
And I have a motion.
Second.
And I have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 That motion carries. Agenda item 6 is an action item regarding approval of resolution 2021-08, supporting October 2021 as Walk to School Month and October 6th, 2021 as Walk to School Day in the KTMPO region. James?
Yes, this is something that we bring before TAC and Policy Board each year for the past several years. Something to support walking and biking to school. This Walk to School Month has been happening since 2000, and thousands of schools around the country and internationally have events to support walking and biking to school. Mostly walking, but they also include biking. And the resolution is included for your review and will be brought before Policy Board at their September meeting.
Are there any questions on that? This is an action item to recommend the approval of this resolution.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the resolution? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? That motion carries. Agenda item 7 is a discussion and action item regarding the initiation of public involvement for amendments to the FY 21-24 Transportation Improvement Program and 2045 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. This is pages 38 through 48. There are some subcategories for the addition of projects to the TIP, removal of projects from the TIP, and updates of descriptions for projects. James?
Thank you, Ryan. Yes, the three categories are projects that need to be removed, as Ryan said, and those three projects were in our original TIP submission, but they have since left, and so they do not need to be in the TIP anymore. And that is Copper's Cove, one of Copper's Cove's project, and I'm sorry, I skipped the first. The first section is projects being added to the TIP, and these are the projects that were approved for funding by Policy Board at the July 21st meeting. The only exception to that, they're listed there, numbers 5 through 8. The only exception is the US 190 bypass, which the funding categories and funding amounts were changed, and TxDOT notified staff that those funding numbers didn't get into the latest UTP, and therefore it would be best to wait until they got into the UTP before adding the project to the TIP. So that will be added, but because it's in 2023, we can wait to add it to the TIP, and the rest of the projects will be added. And then the 3 projects are going to be removed because they're already let. And section C is projects that are in the TIP, and FHWA in their review wanted KTMPO KTMPO to add this language to the project description that identified which facilities were being improved. And so KTMPO is working on that, and those will be administrative, but we're working with TPP to respond to FHWA's requests. And that is all I have.
So just for clarification, James, that project 9 on the addition to the tip, that would still be included in the public involvement, but it would just be added to the tip at a later date?
Correct.
Okay.
And that project's in the MTP.
It's in the MTP?
It's in the MTP. Yes.
Okay. I'd also like to mention that the schedule for the public involvement and submission are in the packet on page 39. So this is an action item to recommend the initiation of public involvement for proposed amendments to the FY 21-24 TIP and 2045 MTP, and approval of the amendments pending public comments received regarding projects being added to the TIP, removed from the TIP, and the updates. So basically, because of the time frame that we have to get this stuff included into the TIP, what staff are asking is that the TAC recommend that the director initiate public involvement, and then at the policy, that will give us the 15-day comment period open. We can bring it back to the policy board with any public comments that are received. They can make the final decision that they ratify the action of me initiating the public comment. Is there anything you actually described?
The reason for this tight window, we would typically make these approvals over a period of 2 months. We would initiate the public involvement, go out for public involvement, and come back the following month to approve the amendments. We have a TIP lock schedule that is due at the end of September. So that has triggered us having to expedite this process in whole. So that is why we are requesting all of the initiation and the final approval of these amendments to be conducted in the month of September. And to prevent policy board from meeting at 2 separate times, we are in lieu requesting that the director, Uriah Nelson, be granted the permission, which the policy board has already extended that offer in circumstances like this, to initiate the public involvement. And then again, on September 22nd, we'll bring all those comments back to the policy board that were received for their official approval of those amendments.
Are there any questions?
Have you already let the policy board chair know that you're going to ask them to ratify this, just so they're not
Yes, sir.
Amazed?
Yes, I have spoken with the chair.
Yeah.
Are there any further questions, comments? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to initiate public involvement for amendments on the fiscal year 21 through 2024 transportation improvement program and the 2045 Metropolitan Transportation Plan as presented.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? That motion carries. Agenda item 8 is a discussion item regarding the approval of the FY 21 Special Study Task Orders, pages 50 through 60. Kendra?
Yes, these are studies that you have seen before in previous meetings that were approved. Just to remind you, these were approved actually last spring And then Policy Board granted us the permission to actually start conducting the studies in FY22 for the sake of our budget. What we are asking today, this is just a discussion item, is on the following pages, you'll see the task orders that have been drafted. These have been sent to TxDOT for their official approval, but we are asking for any additional feedback on the highlighted section of the tasks that would be included in each of these task orders to the consultants. We request that you just take time to look at this over the next week or so, and please provide any comments to James that you might have of what we might be missing through the bulleted specific tasks that we would be requesting of each consultant. So again, this is just for feedback. Each of the 7 task orders are here to be included, as well as the addition of an MPO dashboard. That is something new that we've discussed as staff, and I believe with the TAC at certain points as well. And so that is also included in the 22 to 23 UPWP, but that is detailed for your review as well.
Any questions or comments on the task orders? Like Kendra mentioned, if you could just review those if you have time and provide any feedback you feel would be beneficial in this process to staff, that would be greatly appreciated. Moving on to agenda item 9. It's a discussion item regarding public input received through August 2021. That public input received is in your packet. We have not received any new public input since I believe it was the May 4th date in the packet. And agenda item 10, member comments. Are there any members that have any updates or any information they'd like to share with the TAC? Seeing none, we will move to agenda item 11, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.